Hello, Internet! This is Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9002, and I even remembered to switch the audio on.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. And we're even streaming. I remembered things.
Are you sure you turned the audio on? Oh, there it is. Wow, it is so much quieter than normal for some reason.
That is
probably a good thing.
Fucked up your audio balance again. I'm so...
No, I am redlining on my audio for OBS, so I don't know what to tell you.
OBS has taken matters into its own hands.
OBS has indeed taken matters into its own hands. I mean, I'm just gonna make sure that this mic is still is still projecting from the correct. Yeah, no, microphone, Realtek high definition audio. It's using the correct microphone. So it's just you. It's just you.
Good. Max, the team of 1 Gelgoog and 5 Saikamus won.
So, as of course you can hear from the background chatter, we have Max Force and Atin joining us today. We have Nosehair also in the background.
Paying any attention or care.
Yes, we have Nosehair also hovering about in the background, hoovering up.
Not playing games with his friends because he's suddenly going on a family trip.
Yeah, hoovering up shekels. So, our first story of the day is going to be a Ruby Overlord crossover, and don't worry, it won't take long.
Is it the good Overlord or the not? Is it the good
anime.
Overlord? The shitpost Overlord?
The anime.
Okay, the shitpost Overlord. Got it.
Yeah.
I love that show, but it's a shitpost.
Oh, it's absolutely a shitpost.
It's a shitpost. Not quite on the level of reincarnated as a vending machine, truly God's gift to mankind, but...
What show are you guys talking about?
Overlord?
He doesn't listen.
Hey, so this is,
I just came back.
Game Over, Game On. This is a Ruby Overlord crossover, as I said, obviously with gamer elements. Now, you might notice a small little issue. It's a Ruby Overlord gamer crossover John-centric story.
Okay, look, we don't need to include John-centric. It's a Ruby crossover. Everything's gonna be about John. Look, it's either about lesbian sex or John.
No, okay, so I actually read a really good Dark Souls Ruby cross. Like, earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
I don't believe you, but continue.
I'll drop the link to it at some point when I find it again. It was not John-centric. In fact, John has, I believe, 5 lines total.
Is one of them, please let me die?
No.
Damn.
Your punishment must be more severe.
But anyway, so this is Game Over, Game On. John Ark, the admirer of heroes, the descendant of legends, brother to the strongest huntresses ever. One would think his strength would reach just as high as they. One would think biological imperialism would pull true. But no! That's not what happened. For you see, his pursuit of pornography was too great to overcome. He was the fella that masturbated all day.
I think he was more than that feller.
I was kidding about that last part, but I
know you were.
I'm mocking stories that do this whole thing of like, oh, all of John's family are hyper strong, super powered, fucking they're all Superman variations. But John is Robin, the one we don't like. Does he become the Burger King? I don't know. Maybe.
I think I prefer the version of like Jean's dad is like mid-tier huntsman who just doesn't want his kids to have to deal with the shit that he did.
Well, I mean, I like any version, honestly. But I just want a justifiable reason as to why he's in the situation he's in, you know? If all of his family is, like, super strong, and he's not, you know, make that because, you know, he wanted to play video games. You know, he had the dream of becoming a huntsman, but he's like, yeah, well, like, I'll work out tomorrow, right? And then tomorrow comes around.
Relatable to the average college student.
And then tomorrow comes around and he's like, yeah, like, I could work out right now, but the new comic just came out, so I want to read that instead. Just, you know, roll him like that. But no, it's like always this like
fucking person.
Abused John. He's the weak one of his family, wanting to be a hero, but his whole family's like, no. And it's always like, why?
And I'd like to point out, all they ever did was they just said, he's like, look, he didn't get into, oh my god.
They never told us, actually.
No.
Well, no, he didn't get into, you know,
Signal
young
and
huntsman
whatnot,
school
yeah.
for whatever reason.
Yeah, again, it was probably just
never
because he...
actually told that. We just kind of assumed that.
Well,
Look,
no.
he says he has no education. So
Yeah.
Okay, look. If nothing else.
Well, also,
he never
Max, if he went to
this-
the Young Huntsman School, he would have known what aura is and wouldn't have needed aura to be explained to him. He also should have known what aura is in general anyway if he reads comics or fucking
he
plays
should.
video games.
What I'm
but-
talking about is that the way they had the show set up, to me, the implication is he decided on this like a month before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Never mind. This isn't even a matter of couldn't get into.
No, literally it was. This is probably just some sort of sideline dream of his that was kind of just like, yeah, I sort of want to do that, and then he actually got to that age where he was supposed to register for this, and he was like, oh shit, I was actually supposed to do stuff for this. And then he found a criminal to make him fake papers. Because he's apparently either connected enough or has enough money to do that.
Hey, has Professor Ark picked back up yet?
That's been picked back up. What are you talking about?
It's been going.
Oh, I'm
For,
so
like,
happy about that.
3 or 4 months.
I didn't know.
You got a good number of chapters to catch up on.
That is one of the
personally,
that's some of the best news I've heard all day.
Personally, I like Relic of the Past.
That
Yeah,
one's
but
good.
I just enjoyed, for whatever reason, I liked the idea of Professor Ark, possibly because I've spent my entire life lying to everyone I know and love about everything I've ever done. So it resonated with me.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you got some baggage there, buddy.
You mean besides
I
shit
come back and I hear that you got something you want to tell us, sir?
Yeah, he's actually in love with you, and he fucked your pillow.
Ugh, Jesus
Ugh.
Christ, no! I have standards that he
He
does
wants you
not
to
meet.
think of him every time you go to sleep.
No, it's a definite no.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's not that.
Alright, so the
I'm sure
actual
that's your
full
own
summary
fantasy and you should tell
is
yourself.
John Ark, blah 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 blah. One would think his strength would be as high. One would be wrong if they thought this. He was weak and failed all the time. With his final chance laid before him, he takes his father's armor, sword, and shield to go slay Grim and prove his strength. The being he awakens, though, will change everything.
Samurai.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, John Ark travels out into the forest, and he stumbles upon a mausoleum, right? That you're probably thinking something like that, right? Maybe?
Totally.
Yes? No?
Definitely.
Sure.
Give me some feedback here. When you hear John Ark is going on an adventure and he awakens a being of immense power, and the words Overlord Anime crossover, what do you think's going to happen?
I think he's gonna wake up Ein Zulgon.
Yes?
Einsama.
How, though?
A blowjob?
That's a good point. Possibility. Now,
Family
Max,
heirloom.
what do you think? Family heirloom? All right. So we have
family heirloom.
one for blowjob and he says bone daddy, and family heirloom.
Hey, see, that's where I'm going.
Stop.
Super Potatoes says, summon
Stop
him from
existing.
the underworld. Now, let us see who is right. John, point of view. I sigh as I pull the breastplate on over my hoodie, feeling some discomfort at how it not exactly meant for me as I am. Not surprising, it belonged to my father, and he, while about as tall as myself and about as wide, was much more muscular. I slowly draw on all armor pieces before reaching up and grabbing Crocamore off its stand in small armory that Ark Family House has. After a moment, I take Crocaluna off its stand, collapsing the shield and sheathing Crocamore inside before
I'm gonna be
turning
honest,
around.
You are hurting my soul with that pronunciation.
Before turning around and slowly, epically heading out of the room, my heart heavy as I go out for what will likely be one of the last attempts to get into a hunter school. You see, my grades have never been good enough. I've never been strong enough. By the way, he wasn't strong enough because he never worked out. I just didn't have the ability as a fighter, and 1,000 other reasons that I'm making up because I'm a millennial. I couldn't get into a hunter school, not even Signal, where all my sisters went, or my family's clout can't even produce a good hunter out of me, not to mention the fact that we had major contributions to the Great War. Couldn't even get me into that school. He's saying that he is so fucking bad at everything that nepotism couldn't even help him.
In there.
How much of a fuck up do you have to be that even that doesn't work?
You have to
Like-
The most reliable of U.S. traditions couldn't help me.
World traditions, more like it.
I mean,
You know what? Let's be fair. The most reliable of European traditions couldn't help him.
That's fair, yes. I couldn't get anywhere. I couldn't even get into Atlas. I walked through the crypt-like
Wait,
halls
hold
of my
on.
home.
What is that? I couldn't even get it. Atlas is like hyper exclusive.
No, I think it would be more like going into boot camp. Where it's like, it doesn't matter what your fitness level is, you're expected to get to X fitness level by the end or you're gone.
Yeah, seems pretty likely. Well, we say that.
Anyway. John! I hear my twin sister Rose call. I look over my shoulder to see her light blue ocean eyes looking at me with concern. Her bow over her shoulder with a quiver in her hand, and her light leather armor protecting her without impeding her movement. She walked towards me, her shoulder-length blonde hair swishing back and forth in the wind.
Just a side note, apparently Papa John's is now slamming the restaurant, saying they've changed the recipe for his pizza.
Excellent.
So the saga continues.
Excellent.
Why is that saga continuing?
They fired
Because
Papa John.
Papa John's threw shade.
No, Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He said, I've had over 30, I think it was either 30 pizzas over 40 days or 40 pizzas over 30 days, and he's like, yeah, this is different.
Guys, I only eat pizza. Listen to me, please. She walks towards me. Well, where are you going? Out, dressed like there. I suppress a sigh and a gulp, looking at her with determination. You won't stop me, Rose.
Determination.
I need to do this. I don't expect you to let me go without a fight, but you will let me go. Look, John.
What
So-
is this? Fucking...
No, I absolutely love this.
I want the sister's reaction just be, have you been reading comics again?
Like, I absolutely love this.
You been reading that there Bible again, boy?
John is sitting here just being like, oh my god, I fucking suck at everything. I'm such a nerd. I'm weak. I'm pathetic. My sister's trying to stop me. She's a hunter. She goes to hunter school. You can't stop me, Rose. I will escape this house. It's like, no, she's faster than you, she's stronger than you, she has actual combat training. She has aura. You literally cannot win this fight. You are physically, mentally, emotionally, socially incapable in general, but also incapable of winning this fight. Hey, Rose. I'm heading out to do some hunting. I reply, trying my best to be vague, though I am willing to acknowledge I'm not. John, author, I'm talking to you for this moment, because the character's only as smart as you make them, which means that either you thought this was a good line, or you think that John would think this is a good line, which I suppose I can give you that, because Rooster Teeth has written John as literally a drooling moron, but you've AU'd it so far and have set his family up to be this amazing, awesome family full of intelligent, smart, beautiful, and strong people who are heroes and legends. I expect a little bit more from this John. Again, he could just be the black sheep as in the only kid that rides the special bus. But, I'm going hunting, I say, being vague, with a sword.
A sword.
Now, claiming you're going hunting would make a little bit more sense. Like, oh, are you going to go hunt Grim? No! I'm going to go hunt deer with this bow I have. That would be more believable, and then you just being like internally like, yeah, I'm going to go fucking hunt some Grim with this bow. But I'm going hunting, I say, gripping my long sword and shield for deer. Yeah. I'm gonna go melee some deer.
I mean, doesn't everyone? That's how you hunt, right? You just got to get up on the deer and
Saxton Hale! Nose hair gets the joke.
I do get the joke. Although Saxon Hale wouldn't stick with beer. I said beer. I meant to say
he would stick with beer.
Well, no, he would drink scotch, probably.
Anyway, so I fail as her face falls and her eyes become piercing like small lasers. John, how many times must we say that you don't need to be a huntsman? She says, slightly irked and slightly worried. We are your sisters, and we love you, and you don't need to prove yourself to anybody. She tries to convey her earnest honesty through her gaze, though it is rather dulled by her flat expression. Okay, look, no. I would be giving you a deadpan as well, John. In fact, I'm pretty sure everyone would be giving you a deadpan at bare minimum. You don't have aura, you don't have combat training, and you failed so hard that nepotism couldn't save you. And you're putting on armor not fitted for you, wielding a sword you're not trained in, and you want us to believe that you can kill something besides yourself.
Yeah.
No. I would trust a 4-year-old with a gun more than I trust you.
I would also like to point out he somehow believes he can stop his sister, who is, stronger and faster and probably smarter.
Yeah. Though, try and tell that to Olivia.
That she can't just, pick him up and throw him in a fucking room and say, sit the fuck down, John. You're not being... I'm keeping you here till you stop being stupid.
Try telling that to Olivia, I think. I was never good enough for her. She sees me as an embarrassment to our father, even if she doesn't express it vocally. I mean, John, you are an embarrassment to your entire family. Like, it's one thing to be, like, bad at school. Understandable. It's another thing to be sick to the point where you're bad at, physical activity. That's understandable. You're sick. You can't help it. But, like, I played video games probably an unhealthy amount, and
Sneaky, let's be clear. Definitely an unhealthy amount. I think everyone here definitely played them in an unhealthy amount.
Yes, okay. I played a unhealthy amount of video games when I was, 14 or so, and I still managed to have an actually good athleticism to myself. Like, I played soccer, and, I did the tournaments, and I ran, and, I did kickball and shit. Like, I was actually physically active and didn't get winded by just, walking. I mean, not anymore. Now I do, but that's because of the lung damage, not because I'm not physically active. But it's just, you're a disappointment. In this AU, you're a disappointment. In the canon material, you're a disappointment. In every AU, you're pretty much just a general disappointment. You're like Rick from Rick and Morty when he gets those alternative universe goggles, and he's like, in every single universe, I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
It's not about approving myself to anybody, I yell. Though I doubt I fool either of us. I want to be a huntsman. I want to be like Dad was. Why can't you just leave me alone?
Because, John, you're shit. You're absolutely shit.
Why can't you just leave me alone, John says as he straps himself to the nuclear bomb. I just want to do what Dad does, as he says as he drinks uranium. I know what I'm doing. It's like, no, you're just killing yourself. That's literally all you're doing. John, if you try and fight Grim, you will die. You don't have your aura, you don't have a semblance, and your skills with the sword are subpar. John, you literally can't win. I wish my sister would just lay off. John, this isn't a case of she doesn't believe in you.
I mean, it is. It definitely is, but...
Well, no. Like, if it's a case of I don't believe you can do it, even though he's, like, skilled with a sword or something, like, I just don't think you can handle the combat. Like, that's one thing. It's like... You telling a friend that you don't really think you should go fight that guy in the alley out back, and you telling your friend that they really shouldn't go and try and fist fight the 18-wheeler barreling down the road. It's not a question of, do I think you can beat it anymore? It's literally, this is suicide. Do not do it. I don't have a moment. You're not my mother, Rose. Causing her to flinch. You can't control where I'm going, and you have no right to tell me what I can and can't do. Leave me alone.
I don't even know what...
I don't have a moment to react before my sister yeets me out the door, tears pouring from her eyes. Fine, go and get yourself killed. Hiccups breaking her voice. I land painfully and roll before stopping. I groan and get up and move away from the house, putting it and my guilt behind me. I head towards the Emerald Forest. I enter the forest and draw my blade and draw my shield. I walk for several hours before I hear them. Their growls. I whirl to see a Beowulf leaping at me, claws first. I panic and slash at it, managing to slice its arm, but it fails to do damage, and then it slams into me a moment later. I try to kick it off, but I fail. It tries to bite me, and I manage to Harry Potter it, killing it. I scramble up as it dissipates, tugging my sword out of its head. I look up and dive to the side to avoid a charging Borbatusk, landing hard on my stomach. I groan as I stand and see a Beowulf above me, its claws descending mercilessly. I try to move my shield in between us, but before I can, another strike lands on my back, knocking me forward into the other strike. So, not only is it, subpar description of the combat, it's cringe. I cry out in pain as the claws dig into my flesh. Flesh! Straight through my breastplate before screaming as the teeth clamp on my shoulder. Then why are you wearing the breastplate? Honestly. The Beowulf picking me up and shaking me around before tossing me into a tree. I force my eyes to open, just in time to see a Borbatusk bearing down on me. I try to move, but I fail at the pain of it all. No, I haven't proven myself. I'm just a failure. Well, John, maybe if you had aura and actually trained with the sword and used armor that didn't get cut in half by a literal baby Beowulf, you might have had a better chance. I can't die here. I need to prove myself. I need to win. I want to win. And then I feel something in my chest as energy forces itself into my head, strength suddenly moving my limbs and sending me into overdrive. Grim. These seem like low-class beings, however they are prepared to kill me. A deep and foreboding voice announces in my head. I believe the last time I saw a Grim was when we were facing off against Laurel and Laurella. Insanity incarnate. Curious, how am I alive? A question for another time. The energy flows through me. And then I punched straight through a Borbatusk. Strange. Last time I faced one this week, it disintegrated, my voice says without my intent. My eyes track to my fist. Who are you? I scream with my mind. What are you doing? I scream in my mind. The power in my mind seems shocked as I speak, before it levels my hand at the Grim left charging me. Chain lightning, my voice enunciates, before an arc of energy channels between my arm and the Grim, before it arcs the rest of the Grim, turning them all into dust. Congratulations, John! What the hell? Both myself and the invading presence think as the pop-up screen before us appears. You have successfully unlocked your aura and semblance. The former awakening, a being named Ein's own Gaon.
I came back at just the wrong time to get incredibly upset.
Oh, yes. Who took residence inside your aura when you were just a womb? The latter being me. Congratulations.
And what is this magic talking voice supposed to be?
The gamer ability.
You ain't never had a friend like him.
Oh, and that's a good thing.
It appears that I'm invading your body, young John. My apologies, though I do thank you for giving me another chance with Remnant without your consent. This is Remnant? I nod. Well, regardless, I believe I need to give you your body back. Congratulations on Aura. Well, John, here are the facts. You have second voice in your head, your semblance is gamer, and you are fool. You went out and attacked Grim.
Sounds like he's got 3 voices, one of which is exceptionally passive-aggressive.
Yes. You went out and attacked Grim without proper training, no backup, and no plan. At least Ainz and I are now here to give you an edge and a few knocks on the head. And why exactly should I listen to either of you, I ask?
What? Hold on a minute. Really? Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You went out,
Yeah.
you almost died,
Yeah.
and now you're gonna say to the magical talking voices in your head,
That just
"Hey,
saved
why
him.
should I listen to
That
you?"
just saved him, by the way, because he's dying, and then they saved him. And then his response is, and why should I listen to either of you? Because you're a fucking retard, John. You have no obligation to. You'd just be an idiot if you didn't. You're a hormonal sister hurting teenager. You hormonal sister hurting teenager. The message pops up just as I pick up Croak more, making me pause for a moment, the guilt of yelling at Rose coming back. Exactly, John. Now listen for a moment and do what I say.
By your powers combined, I
so
should become
John
edgier
pulls
than
up,
any Black Templar.
some points and some stats. As you can clearly guess, awakening Ainz was like getting several years of full battle hunter experience, courtesy of me, but that's merely strength, speed, endurance, and defense-wise, not skill-wise, though what little I could manage to force-feed your body and mind, you're a little better than the swish and stab now. His magic power is incredible and magical, however, you won't be able to mimic it ever. You
Hold on.
are swordsmanship.
His magical ability is magical.
Yes. And maybe life magic if you decide to go that way. As you can tell as well, we aren't able to increase your intelligence or wisdom, though both are still incredibly low compared to what you need to be at. With more stat assignments, you might be able to get up to a good level. So I'm not capable of giving him my experience, Ainz asks. No, you can't, because his body is still underdeveloped. Once he is at peak physical condition and mental condition, perhaps. However, that would be counterintuitive regardless for multiple reasons. You have your classes now, Ainz, while John, thanks to you and I, can have completely opposite classes for obvious reasons. Also, for him to inherit your classes, he need to be fully developed, which would be around the age of 26 or so. It would be ridiculous to wait that long. That is a wise plan. We should go to Nazarick and get my allies. Ah, yes. Nazarick is my place that I created and has all my fucking minions in it. And then huntsmen and huntresses charged into it and cut them all down.
You know, cut down usually implies dead.
Why are we?
Well, I
suffering
mean,
through this?
assuming this is operating on Overlord rules, he can just resurrect them.
Anyway, so welcome to Nazarick. Though it is far beyond its prime, I doubt anyone will be willing to enter here because of its aura. However, what guardians are left are probably going to try and kill us. I tried to force my body to stop walking into this death trap, but I couldn't. I look up as we enter this place, and it's really dark and shit. Hail, traveler, I hear a girl say. Might I ask why you're trying to enter the Tome of Nazarick? Hail, Guardian.
The Tome of Nazarick, eh?
I am a traveler from the winds of time long gone. You may call me John. The figure nods. Welcome, John. I think you will find your welcome less than stellar, all things considered. So please, die.
What?
You'll need to convince her to step down. Show her who resides in you. Show her your resolve, he shouts at me, making me wince. Dude, we are literally in the same head. You don't need to shout. Dude, I just want you to suffer at this point. I think in irritation. Blah blah, very well. I will recognize you as a warrior by name, John, Travelers of Winds of Time. You may call me Ella. Words of wise, Ella is the strongest Denzian of Nazarick. Created by... No, that's false.
I thought you
false.
said Allah for a second, and I was really confused.
Yes, they created Allah.
Praise be upon him.
Anyway, so blah blah blah, shitty fight scene. Blah blah blah. John gets a really ridiculous sword attack. By the way, he's just blatantly ripping off the sword arts from Sword Art Online.
As you do.
Blah blah blah, shitty fight scene. I punch her in the face, and she's hurt. Blah blah blah. I gain a shit ton of stats. Blah blah blah. Enough, Ella. Do you not recognize my aura? And she scoffs at us. Fine. Perhaps you recognize this aura of despair. Lord Hines. Can it truly be you? I apologize for my disrespect. It's no consequence. Ella, remove your helmet. Let my host know your face. And then she removes her helmet. But as you desire, my lord. I suppose we should have appraised the situation of Nazareth. I'll leave this to you for now. What's the situation here? What happened to this place? She looks at me in confusion and then goes, oh, wow, you're Lord Hines' host. Follow me. I'll tell you all the information you need to know. Blah, 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 shitty AU. Blah, blah. A pair of hunters tainted by Grimblood turned really OP and mega strong and then slaughtered everyone in Nazareth. Only, Sebas and Albedo survived. Both became despondent. Sebas, blah, blah, Albedo, blah, blah. Blah, what happened to this place? Time happened, blah, blah, no maids, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's sad. Blah, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Oh my god, what am I gonna do? Perhaps it's best if you act the two intelligent people inside your head, You do have a smarter semblance than you, not to mention an ancient being of power. I scowl as my semblance continues to insult me. I'm ready to start yelling at it when I see a beautiful woman in a white dress coming over to me. Two problems, though. One, she hates me, and two, she just punched me and blew away my aura and punched me into a wall. I'm really hurt right now. Blah, blah, blah. Wait. Okay, the author literally earlier just said Ella is the strongest being in Nazareth, and now he's saying that Albedo is the strongest being in Nazareth.
Well, see, both his waifus need to be the strongest being.
Of course. The strongest existence, one might say.
Indeed.
They both have Ultra Instinct.
Albedo will try and tour with you before killing you. Blah, 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 blah. I depend on your aura levels to take control of your body. That's what allows me to inhabit your form. Also, she broke your aura, so I can't do that anymore. Also, me revealing myself may prompt her to try and kill you even more. I'm not even sure at this point. However, she hates humans. Your only hope is to survive long enough for Sabus to show up and save you.
So even though she knows Ainz is chilling in there, she's just gonna fight the dude?
Yep. Don't worry,
love
John.
to know.
As your gamer semblance, I just want you to know this is a trial by fire. A large fire. And don't worry too much. And then the succubus tries to punch me again, and I barely dodge her, and she puts a hole in the wall. And she grins at me ferally. I am so dead. Yup. That was the story.
That
400 favorites.
That was a story.
Yeah.
I wish we never ever read it, and I hate you.
I don't disagree. That's a ruby. Oh, this one. How about this one? Yeah. No, maybe not this one. What was it? What was the other ones? Oh yes, here we go. Yeah. So, lads, this is a. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon story?
Ah.
Okay. Are they gonna ruin my boy Bell?
Oh, just wait for it. Just wait for it. All of my love. The secret is out about Ishtar. As Bell tries to figure out who talked, he must retrace his steps during his time under the Ishtar Familia. The past he wished to forget must be unearthed.
God.
He must recall the time when he was the known, feared, and respected greatest pimp in the Ishtar Familia.
By the way, Max, I'm looking at the summary. He's not making that up.
What? What have you found?
Cancer! Yeah, see, I saw this, and I looked at it, and I looked at it some more, and then I took a big fucking swig of alcohol.
You really didn't have to.
You're right, I need more.
It's not what I meant, and you know it.
I have to say, this is decent. Not as good as the Haku, but it has the worst bottle design I've ever seen. So it's like one of those water orbs, except the spout is on its side at a 45-degree angle. But it has the fattest fucking rims in existence. So it's like I'm trying to pour a little bit of vodka out of a goddamn fire hose. Anyway, so this is a romance drama story. And don't worry, we're not going to even bother reading this shit. I just wanted to show you guys this shit. Because it is 3 chapters at 43,000 words. That is way too long to spend on this garbage. But I just wanted to let you know that there exists a story in which Bel Cranel is the pimp of the Ishtar Familia. Just want to let you...
That not being a thing that ever happened.
Yep.
With any character.
Yep.
And despite the fact that such a thing would dramatically alter his standing when Hestia picked him up, because he would already be at least level 1 and would require a transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But hey, don't let inconvenient things like facts get in the way.
Well, you don't require a transfer.
Yeah, you do.
Well, no, like if your familia's just gone, you just get a new thing in your
But
stats.
Ishtar isn't gone.
No, it's not.
So, he would absolutely need the transference process, which would...
Not if he was kicked out, I don't think. I'm sorry, we got some backstory on some, on a, 1 or 2 characters in Loki Familia about that stuff. So.
Alright, so the actual story...
To wherever the English light novels currently are,
Well,
so...
the problem is that's in the side story, Sword of Oratorio.
So the actual story we're going to be reading next is Familiar of Zero Gurren Lagann crossover, The One Whose Back Would Never Break. Kamina, after his unfortunate accident, quote-unquote, gets summoned to be Luis's familiar. Naturally, the Dai-Gurin Brigade's badass leader does not take this very well, and although he stays in the academy, he does not get bound as a familiar. Of course, as he tries to find a way back home, he will inevitably punch sense into people. After all, just who the hell do you think he is?
I don't know if I see this working very well.
Shite.
It is shite. It's going to be absolute garbage. Good morning, everyone. If you haven't watched Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, don't read this story. I kept Communist Fate vague for a reason, because I don't want to spoil this for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. Why the fuck would you be reading a Gurren Lagann crossover if you haven't read or watched, especially watched, Gurren Lagann? Because I have to say, the music direction for Gurren Lagann was fan-fucking-tastic.
Yes, this is well known.
Author's note, version 2. As you may have noticed, I have rewritten this entire story to be less of a pile of bullshit. While I have taken
That seems unlikely.
While I have taken the occasional day to read and write better stories, it by no means was a good enough thing to do here. So here's the thing. I almost entirely forgot about this story, and I deleted all of my notes. I am going to go back over every chapter and rewrite it all.
Well, at least he's honest about it.
Deleted the notes. Didn't lose them. Just said fuck them.
The valley, rocked by thunderous explosions of macaws and cannon shoots laid it to waste, was suddenly silenced by two souls crying out, comma, comma, just who, ellipses.
Yeah, great. They're bad. We know.
Not parenthesis, that is a, apostrophe. Apostrophe, comma, comma, ellipses, in the hell, ellipses, apostrophe, ellipses. Do you think we are? Question mark, exclamation point, apostrophe. Well done, author. Very impressive. You managed to fuck up the tagline. I don't even know what to say. The volcano overlooking the battlefield started erupting again, coloring the entire sky a bombastic red, perfectly benefiting the explosive nature of the Dai-Gurin Brigade. The fire in the sky reflected off the leader's dented mecha, the drill that would open the path to tomorrow Gurren Lagann. Over the course of this long battle, both Gurren and Lagann had suffered quite a bit of damage, so even with the self-repairing that Gurren Lagann possessed, the wear and tear was clearly visible in the light of the eruption. You see, Gurren Lagann was a very special mech indeed. Okay, author. If you literally said, if you haven't watched Gurren Lagann, do not read this story. So you have already warned away people that would not know exactly what you are talking about. And then you spend your entire fucking opening reiterating shit we all already know. They'd be like, I'm going to write a Star Wars story. Nobody should read this story if they haven't seen Episode 4. And then to start off your Star Wars story that you've already told everyone to not read if they haven't seen Episode 4, is rewriting the entirety of episode 4. What's the point?
To make you specifically very
You know
annoying
what?
upset.
This is a distinct possibility. There is a conspiracy going on whose sole purpose of existence is to produce constant bad fan fictions for the sole purpose, again, of making sure that I am indescribably angry at the continued stupidity of people. Is that the best way to put it? Maybe. I don't know. I want to drink more. Blah, 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 blah. Cannon, urine logging cannon. Cannon. Coming out, cannon. You somehow you are making one of the most exciting moments of the pre-Gurren Lagann movie boring. Author, congratulations. Here is your participation trophy. It's a picture of your dick. Notice how there is no participation trophy. I'm sorry, we did not have a nano microscope that powerful.
I'm sensing some annoyance on your part.
Blah, blah, blah. Cannon. Okay, so Kamina's dying, and then he goes poof, and now he's hearing squeaky kid voices. And then we point of view swap from dying Kamina over to Luis with no indication of that happening. It just, I'm dying and I'm hearing squeaky voices, and now suddenly my name is Luis and I'm looking at a dying guy. Blah blah blah. Cannon. Now it's just familiar of Zero Cannon. Cannon. And then Kamina appears in front of her from the portal, and Luis is like, oh my god, there's a bleeding, almost dead guy in front of me. And Colbert's like, oh my god, there's a bleeding dead guy in front of her. We need to get him some medical assistance. And then he screams, someone get a healer over here. And then rumors spread that Luis killed her summon.
What?
And that's a wrap, guys. Let me know what you think of this rewrite, if you would be so inclined. Do not expect me to update this story frequently, as I am in my last year of school, and I have other stories I want to update more. He asked, and I shall give. So, chapter 1 was just a shitty rewrite of canon. Truly, your talent and skill is something to behold. What? What's wrong, Max?
Just make sure you're logged in onto your account and not the shared account.
I am. All right.
Honestly, everything tonight has just made me want to kill myself.
That was over quick, so now we can move on. How do you guys feel about Worm Steven Universe?
I don't
That
care about
sounds-
Steven Universe.
Sounds like a bad idea, honestly.
See, that's what I thought too. So let's read it. Right, so this is Worm Steven Universe crossover called Crack. No, not the good kind of crack. Aura says, I've seen that story before, the one we just read. It seems like he stopped it due to people giving him a lot of shit. As a person who has just read the first chapter of it, any criticism he receives is almost guaranteed to be entirely deserved. So anyway, this is Cracked. Worm Steven Universe. There are no stories of this amazing crossover combo, so I've decided to change that. Taylor has a different power. What does Taylor do when they become functionally immortal through strange means? Well,
Did they
start.
seriously misspell that?
Yes.
Oh dear.
Well, starting a rebellion isn't one's first thought, but what else are you supposed to do when the world around you is dying? Normally people don't go, okay, the world around me is dying, so what I should do is I should set it on fire. Now, admittedly, some people will say they should do that. You shouldn't listen to those people.
I mean, you happen to be an advocate of those people, don't you?
Not when I'm
Not
on
a-
Twitch. Big think. This is an idea I had after seeing nothing of the sort for a while despite possibilities. I'm going to try for something serious, so be patient with me. I know I haven't worked on this. Hopefully I will find some inspiration for my other story soon. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy this. Prologue. I didn't know where I was, but I felt safe. It was a relief after what I remembered. Oh God, they shoved me in there and left me to die. They all left me to die. I want to scream but found no voice. I started panicking again.
I have no mouth, but I must scream.
I did not want to die. Not to those three fucking bitches. Light.
Why do they
Sensation.
always make Taylor do,
Fanon.
like...
One story referred to them as the Bitches 3. And Fanon loved it. I don't know if that's actually even in canon at all.
I don't think it is.
She really doesn't even, like, mention Sophia, let alone Emma, past, like, chapter 16. So, I don't know. Light. Sensation. The loss of the safe space. Taylor's an SJW. I haven't realized I couldn't feel anything but safe. I flailed, expecting to hit the walls of the locker, or worse, a coffin. But instead found myself suspended in the nothingness, except, no, it was not nothingness. There was light everywhere, holding me up and warming me as if I was a crystal case in the summer of sun shining down on me. It was weird, but I found myself calming again somewhat. It was when I was able to move freely, when I wanted to. But I missed walking. A floor appeared. Gravity seemed to become imposed, and gently enough for me to touch down instead of falling. I blinked in confusion. What the hell? Where was I anyway, and why did this place seem to become exactly what I wanted? I needed to find a way out. Stairs spiraled up from me, the floor leading to an impossibly high place. Okay then. Nothing except for climbing the stairs. I mean, I personally would have just asked for an elevator, but yeah, that's just me.
Shh, that's what a sensible person would do. We're not allowed to be sensible on this podcast. That's why we've adopted
Sensible?
British.
That sounds like heresy.
That's why we've adopted British accents. Because they can't decide whether or not they want to pull out. So they're just kind of half leaving it in there and making a mess everywhere, not getting anything done.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it's
Okay.
not my fault they can't decide whether or not to pull out.
The walking, blah, 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 walking. I turned towards the thing I was walking at, and then Mom was there, and I descended the stairs and raced towards my mom. I didn't notice or care about the tears. I just wanted to see my mom. And there's my mom right there. And my mom.
Oh, but she's dead.
Mom. And then I walked into my room. And then Emma told the bully that they couldn't mess with us anymore, or she would tell her daddy. Her daddy was a lawyer, but no one wants to mess with a big lawyer his daddy works for. So my daddy works for the dock workers, and they're big and squish the bullies and eat them. I had told Mom hurriedly, not even bothering to breathe. Taylor, that's all well and good, but you shouldn't have to resort to threats or violence. Oh, I remembered this. And Mom told me that if you ignored bullies, eventually they go away.
Listen, you should always resort to violence.
You know, as what's that fucking movie? The one with the bugs in it. The giant fucking bugs. Very B-movie-y.
Starship Troopers?
Starship Troopers, yes. Even the movie said this, is that everything comes down to force and power in the end.
Remember, if you disable the enemy's hand, he cannot use his weapon.
A factual statement. But everything comes down to force and power. The only reason why the bullies would ever stop bullying you is if there was a force or power making them do so. Such as a teacher that suddenly is, a Air Force instructor. Veteran of 26 years. Proceeds to throw a kid in a locker, per se. And then punch the lights out of the other kid. Maybe those bullies stop their shit when that guy's around. Just a random example. Just a random example. No relevance, of course, to any actual events that might have occurred.
Sure.
But yeah, just ignore bullies. I'm sure you passively sitting there will just trigger that bully sense, and they'll be like, wow, that person just sitting there and allowing me to hit them, I should stop hitting them because it's boring to punch someone in the face and have them do nothing about it. Because that's how a bully thinks. They go, wow, I'm no longer having fun beating this person up. I should move on. Big brain.
Sometimes that works, sometimes it don't.
Yeah, but you get the shit kicked out of you. So I count that as a loss. There are sometimes that they were suffering in ways you didn't know, and their bullying was just a way of them lashing out. Yeah, and what do I fucking care if John, Joe, Jacobheimer, Schmidt gets beat every day when he goes home? Doesn't mean I'm not going to kick him in the nuts when he tries to hit me.
In fact, no one's gonna go, oh, I feel he gets hit all the time. I should let him hit me. That'll make him feel better. No. I'll be like, listen, I get that you have problems. That's not gonna stop me from breaking your nose.
The thing is, I know people who in real life try to give this sort of shit advice to their kids. And you know whose kids got beat up all the time? Them. Their kids. The ones they told to just ignore the bully and the bully would go away. That really the bully is just suffering deep down and that's why they're bullying you.
Even if that may be true, sometimes, and I can definitely tell you this is the case for guys, what a guy
Sometimes
needs is another
people
guy.
are just assholes.
I mean, yes. But listen, if a guy just punches him in the nose, that guy will go, maybe I'm not all that hot. Shit.
And then he'll try and punch someone else.
And if that person
he'll just go
punches
down
him
the
in
chain.
mouth, he'll go, I am definitely the problem.
Yeah, he tried that one guy that I ended up not sending to the hospital, of course, when I did not beat his face in. He definitely did not then proceed to pick a fight with
subtle there, Sneaky.
kid in a grade lower than me and about half his height.
Did he lose to that kid?
That kid also is a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Wait, and what?
Jiu-jitsu.
Oh no!
And he proceeded to fucking flip the guy and slam his collarbone into a water fountain so hard the metal bent and the collarbone broke.
Yeah, no, don't fuck around with people that actually do practice jiu-jitsu. They don't play around.
And then, this is, of course, according to the rumors that went around. So I don't have visual on the confirmation of this part of it occurring. Is that while the larger fella was reeling back, the smaller dude decided to turn around, jump kick off of the wall, and roundhouse the guy across the face.
That sounds like a bit of embellishment.
I feel like it is, but still.
I mean, look, all I'm saying is, at one point in 6th grade, I literally had some kid, I still don't know why he did this, literally, you know the thing you see in movies where they twist somebody's shirt up and slam them against a locker?
Yep.
That was what was done to me.
But why?
I to this day, I do not know. I'm walking out of a classroom with my buddy, right? And we were talking about something Monday. I think we were talking about, like, an anime. And there's this kid. Nick Stanger. Nice enough guy. But, by the way, obviously not his real name. I've made things up.
Nick Stanker. Nice.
For whatever he says, what did you say? And I said, I didn't say anything. And I am slammed against a locker looking down at this man because I have now been hoisted off the ground by my shirt.
Nice.
I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? Of course, the part they don't show you in the movie is when someone does that, it's really easy to knee that person in the jaw.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Now,
What'd you say, you nerd? Knee! And of course, then we both went to the principal's office. The thing that was the worst part was there was a really nice kid who he tried to break the fight up.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, Joe." Again using fake names. Joe, put the kid down. Put him down, man. He didn't say anything. He didn't do nothing. And of course, he steps in starting to physically push us apart, which is when I need the kid in the face.
Right.
The one hoisting me, not the guy trying to help me, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not that big of a dick.
I still...
Everybody goes to the principal's office, and I will give the raging psychopath that slammed me up against a locker credit. I'll give him credit for this. Both he and I told the principal, we're like, and we felt terrible because it was this kid's first time at the principal, and he was an honor student and a super nice guy. and you know how everybody cries the first time they go to the principal because
No.
they're scared?
No.
This kid did that.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so see, that time that I totally didn't send that kid to the hospital, that was my first time I remember going to the principal's office for something like I actually did. And I just literally walked in the principal's office and I was like, look, principal, I'm going to be straight honest with you. Yeah, I punched the shit out of that guy. Completely unprovoked. And he's just like, he just sat there, was like, well, I appreciate you being honest.
And also, to my principal's credit, it was eventually like, hey, listen. It's like, so did you slam him against a locker? Yeah. Did you knee him in the face? Yeah, after he slammed me into a locker. It's like, did he provoke you? He said something. It's like, what do you say? I have no idea what I said. We were talking about X thing.
Yeah.
And then he's like, is there anyone who can back you up about that? I was like, the kid I was talking to and probably the 2 or 3 kids that were in front of me and behind me. And they're all like, look, I don't know what the hell this guy was talking about, but he definitely didn't say nothing about this guy.
I was randomly just reminded of what happened in A grade, unknown grade, at an unknown date and time at an unknown school. That the hypothetical teacher in this hypothetical troublemaking student, not me. I'm actually being serious about this one. Not me. This kid constantly would flick paper clips on my rubber band at the teacher. And,
This could be a story.
And one day, the teacher was like, alright, you fucking little shit, just get out of my fucking classroom. And so the kid's like, haha, fuck you, and, gets up to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
But before he does, he shoots one last paperclip at the teacher and hits the guy in the face.
Okay.
And the teacher responds by grabbing the nearest desk and chucking it at him. And so the kid's like, oh shit, and proceeds to blitz out of the classroom. And then we're just all sitting there like, and then the teacher runs out of the classroom, and all we hear is thump, 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 oh fuck, thump, 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 thump.
That definitely sounds like New Jersey.
And we're all just like, should we leave?
Did we just hear a murder?
If the teacher runs away and doesn't come back in 15 minutes, you are technically allowed to leave.
Do we
If the
just...
teacher runs out and commits homicide, you better leave before the cops show up.
I mean, the cops did show up once, and they found, like, coke and meth, and...
I'd like to ask for immunity in exchange for testifying against my teacher.
I did not commit murder.
Now,
I did not commit a war crime.
speaking of almost committing a murder, again, in a same grade though, we had a U-shaped classroom, science lab. The teacher liked to make us answer science questions by throwing a ball around.
Yes, one of those.
Yep. And we could, however, tag other students if we answered the question correctly.
Oh no.
And no one would ever throw the ball to me because I was actually really good at science and I would always get the right answer. And so I would always go after, maliciously, the people who I knew wouldn't get the right answer.
As you should.
Oh boy.
And, however, there was this one girl who was like me, but worse in every fashion. Except her personality was quiet instead of asshole. But she still, read a lot of books and was really messed up. And one of the jocks got the ball and fucked up the answer, and the teacher told him to throw it to the girl. And so he pelts it at her, shouting, "Name, heads up!"
Just doesn't even try to, like, slow it down a little, just fucking yeets it.
Yeah. And she doesn't even fucking move. No flinch, nothing. Just eats it. Face first. Goes flying backwards off the table. And the kid's like, oh. And the teacher's like, oh my god. And I am sitting there laughing my ass off.
Of course you are.
Of course he is. He's fucking sneaky.
But yeah, that was good times. Growing up in poor schools was good times.
Good
Anyway.
times, he says.
So Taylor's life is flashing about in like one of those Fallout 4 memory sequences. Yeah,
I try not to remember that.
Yeah, well, that's what's happening now. So you better start remembering it to get that good visual modifier going.
I don't wanna.
Where'd my shot glass go? That's weird. Oh.
I'm surprised you lost track of a shot glass, honestly.
Dude.
No, sounds bad on brand for Sneaky.
I lose track of shit. I literally was like, man, I'm thirsty. Looks at empty glass. Gets up, walks into kitchen, goes, wait, where's my glass? Didn't even fucking pick it up. I am the best at remembering things. By best, I mean not good at all. I'm really bad at remembering things. I do, however, remember every single time someone's tried to kill me. Which is
I'd be worried if you couldn't.
I need two hands.
Last time someone tried to assassinate me. For them, it was the most important day of their life. For me, it was Tuesday.
No, I just need two hands to count how many times.
What if we discount the ones where your mother tried to kill you?
She actually hasn't.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, no, funny story about that is, she actually didn't drink or smoke at all when I was gonna be born because she was super worried about all that stuff. And then I turned out completely fucked up, so then when she was having my sister, she was like, fuck it. Fetal alcohol syndrome can't be worse than this.
And then it turned out that they were even worse.
No, they turned out about the same.
Wrong.
No, we turned out about the same.
Are you sure about that?
Well, considering that she's becoming a manager at a new Starbucks location in New York City and is getting paid like $20 or more an hour. Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
is this the one who did all the things?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, it's just, She's also on that murder attempt list, by the way.
I mean, that's hardly surprising.
I mean, to be fair, I did push her down the stairs as
Oh my god, Sneaky.
as a recreational activity, as in more than once a day.
You don't get to complain.
Yeah, things happen. Anyway, so anyway, blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Wait, memories leading up to this. Oh, Emma. Worst parts of my life. I'm watching all my life, and the climb takes forever. And then I realize that I'm at peace with all the bad things that ever happened to me. And I just look at myself in the mirror, and I just basically go Sims creator mode on it, and change all the things I dislike about it. And I gave myself some cleavage, and I changed my skin, and I fixed my eyes, and I changed how my mouth looked. And I gave myself the right body type, and then I stepped through the mirror. Wow, that's really riveting, author.
I will be back after I consume the flesh of dead animals.
You do that. You know, we really aren't having too much of a enjoyable evening tonight.
There's not even anything to get mad about.
Well, I mean, there's plenty to get mad about. It's just, you know...
Is this a fucking store error?
What?
What?
Steam controllers are $5 right now.
I don't believe it's an error.
90% off. Yeah, no, it's 90% off.
Oh, yeah, no, they do that all the time. Alright.
It's just nobody wants it.
Naruto and Bleach, let's do
I got
this.
one for like $10 at GameStop a few years back. It's such a weird controller.
It is. It's not worth it. So anyway, this is probably one of the worst stories we will ever cover on this podcast. So strap your asses in. So this is Hollow by Pain17ification. So there's a little story between me and Pain. I like some of his stories, and by some I mean like 2 to 3. He makes a lot of stories. He barely writes any of them. He'll write about 5 to 6 chapters, and then he'll move on to his next one. I like some of the ideas, and some of the stupider ideas of his had decent enough executions that I was like, okay, yeah, I guess, fine. But sometimes, you just have shit so bad that you just sit there and go, but why? This, for example, Hollow. After Nell was defeated, she gets booted through an experimental, unstable Garganta.
This is a terrible idea.
She arrives in the Elemental Nations as Nell, the child, where she is found by the Orange Knucklehead. Orange Man bad? Vote yes or no.
Wait, Orange Knuckle?
Yes, Orange Knucklehead. However, Naruto has his own secrets that he hides from the rest of the world. What will happen when the line between the living world and the spiritual world starts to blur? A Naruto times Nell story. A blonde teen gazed at the rundown building that had belonged to his ancestors when they had allied with the Hidden Leaf. It carried an artifact of great power, one that was meant to be guarded for as long as time stood. It was both fortunate and unfortunate that the place had fallen so far under everyone's radar that it was unheard of for many years. But of course, Naruto Uzumaki, heard of it because of reasons. If he had to guess, maybe a handful of people, besides he himself, of course, knew of this location, and most of those people were dead now. Not that death could actually stop anyone, because he knew firsthand when he discovered this place as a small boy. Back again, child, a gentle voice spoke, prompting him to turn his blue eyes to the speaker. She was a woman of noble beauty and grace that had red styled hair into twin buns atop her head. It's Mikoto. No, not Mikoto. Is it Mikoto? Yeah, Mikoto.
Mikoto.
The Uzumaki, first Jinchuriki of Kurama.
Oh yeah, that Senju's wife.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
She now haunts the shrine and has done so for hundreds of years. Because of reasons. Mito, sorry, not Mikoto. Mito. Mikoto is the Uchiha mother.
Oh right.
Blah 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 blah. I wanted to say goodbye before I left with Pervy Sage on the training trip. I don't know how long we'll be gone, so let's see. Continue your Fuinjutsu studies. I have taught you the best, and you're amazing at Fuinjutsu, and you're so amazing and wow. I promise I will. I'm gonna miss you to the bow. Kushina-chan will throw a fit if she ever finds out you inherited her tick. I'm glad I have a thing to remind me of her. Konohamaru found it for Naruto, blah blah blah. Tsunade, blah blah blah, gave Naruto a whole bunch of stuff that she didn't give him in canon. And it just so happened to have the location and the properties of the Uzumaki. And Naruto learned from the Uzumaki spirits that only he could see. And he became really good at stuff. Blah 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 blah. Nell is Nell, and she's being monologued at by the Science Hollow, and the Science Hollow's like, "I'm gonna science you," and she's like, "Oh wow, I'm really spooked by this." Slash sarcasm. And Science Guy's like, "Alright, fuck you, bitch. I'm just gonna throw you into this wormhole and see what happens." And then he just punts her straight into the wormhole.
I like
Truly,
to
the
point out
greatest
that
of
these stories
scientists.
have been so bad, we've dropped to 4 viewers.
Oh no, we've only had 4 viewers the entire time.
Seriously?
Yeah, it hasn't gone up. Super Potatoes is dead. You know, the ninja assassins got to him, unfortunately. They were bound to get someone, eventually. Max proved to be
You
too hard to
sent them
target.
after our viewers because.
I don't know, they paid me.
Sorry, they paid you to provide a target.
Look, I think they were just getting really tired of trying their hand at you all the time. They just wanted an easier target. I would send him to Nosehair, but killing Nosehair would be a mercy. And I want him to suffer.
I'm pretty sure the only way it could be considered a mercy is if you died along with me, so I could just make sure you get punted to hell.
See, your assumption is that you would need to do any form of action to ensure I ended up in a bad place. I assure you, I am quite capable of doing that on my own.
I mean, I can just make it worse.
And so anyway, Nell's minions look at the wormhole that just collapsed, and they're like, wow, we're never seeing our boss again. And then they run away, swearing vengeance upon them.
He did.
Blah, 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 blah. Naruto is like, wow, I'm going to do some seal stuff because I'm really good at seals and stuff.
Yay, good for you, kid.
And blah, 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 blah. Fan and stuff, Kakashi bashing. Fan and stuff.
What did Kakashi do?
Kakashi didn't help Naruto, even though he should have helped Naruto. Because Naruto.
I mean, if there's anyone to actually be angry at, it really should be Jiraiya, his godfather.
Yeah, but Kakashi was his team leader, so therefore Kakashi should have taught Naruto all the Naruto things.
You know, I don't remember this happened or not, but like I feel like Hishimoto should have had a panel in which Jiraiya and Minato are talking, and Jiraiya's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll take over the kid's training when he's of age," just to make it hit even harder home. Just how fucking bad Jiraiya was as a godfather.
I mean,
Just, like randomly drinking like at a bar. Hey, if you ever have a kid, I'll be his godparent. Yeah, sure, whatever, dude. It finally happened. He's just like, shit.
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna go with the 2.5 Men meme of Jiraiya like drinking at a bar, being like, "I feel like I forgot something," and the bartender goes, "Well, if you've forgotten, it wasn't important," and it just pans over to fucking Naruto alone, rain on him in a hobo outfit, and Jiraiya's like, "Yeah, you're right."
Alright, you know what? I would love to see a fan fiction titled 2.5 Ninjas, and it's just Tsunade and Jiraiya try to take care of baby Naruto.
Well, no, 2.5 Men would be more like Kakashi and
The 2.5
Jiraiya.
Ninjas, not men.
Oh, well, so I think it'd be
2.5
funnier if it's like Kakashi and Jiraiya are tasked with raising Naruto. But Kakashi is actually a cocaine addict, and Jiraiya just wants to sequester himself away and write porn.
I'll be back in a few moments.
Max is getting his gun.
No, I'm getting some food. I'm hungry.
Anyway. Blah blah blah, Kyuubi power up, blah blah, blah blah, Naruto making seals that are better than Jiraiya's seals because he is the best at the seals. Blah 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 blah, strange pressure bearing down upon him, and he sees a little lolly fly at him, and he's like, "Whoa, that's a lolly." And he's just holding on to the lolly, and he's like, "Yo, healer guy, you gotta heal this lolly." And the healer guy's like, "Whoa, I guess, yeah." And for some reason, everyone can see the lolly, even though, you know, it would be really only realistic for ninjas to be able to see the lolly, but whatever. The random medic that isn't a ninja that just uses, herbs and shit can see the lolly, and he's like, "Wow, this lolly is like really like banged up and shit. Might need to use medical ninjutsu, but I don't have any." And anyway, so Naruto is cuddling the lolly, and then the lolly's like, "Whoa, I'm awake. What's going on?" And Naruto's like patting the lolly. "Here, lolly, drink this." And she drank it. And the lolly's like, "I'm awake now, and I know my name." And how did Nell get here? Nell asks. Naruto goes, "Oh, well, you fell from the sky." And Nell's like, "Wow, I don't remember falling from the sky." That seems like something I would remember. Which, I mean, to be fair, that normally is something you would remember if you were falling from the sky. Do you know what happened to Nell? No, I don't know what happened to Nell. But you fell from the sky. Oh, okay. Your bracelet is next to you. And she looks at the bracelet and she goes, I don't remember having a bracelet. And Naruto goes, well, you had it on when you were falling from the sky. And Nell goes, oh. Okay. And, as he was about to toss the bracelet to Nell, he was overcome with visions of a future's past where Nell is not a child and instead wants to suck his dick. And then, blinking that out of focus, he proceeds to throw the bracelet to Nell. Just kidding. He shatters the bracelet and throws it in the trash. And he's like, and Nell goes, so who are you? And he goes, I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Rudo, she asks. Sure, you can call me that if you want, Nell. And then the nurse came back and was shocked that Nell was awake. And then the scientist guy was like, wow, it really sucks that my science bracelet was crushed. I spent literally a century working on that. And then Jiraiya goes, hey, don't bring a lolly along. Why did you think I'd ever let you do that? And Naruto goes, fuck you. I'm bringing the lolly. And Jiraiya's like, wow, can you really handle raising a lolly? Naruto responds with, probably better than you.
Who's better than what?
Naruto will probably raise the lolly better than Jiraiya could raise a lolly.
Probably. It's not exactly a high bar that Jiraiya set.
Jiraiya groaned, by the sage, you're gonna give me wrinkles. And Naruto rolled his eyes. You should probably get more sleep, Nell. I'll grab something to eat for you. But Nell isn't tired, the lolly said, as she yawned. I think you are. Just lie down and get some sleep, okay? I'll be here when you wake up. Do you promise? I totally promise you, Nell. I will be here when you wake up. Sleep tight. And Jiraiya watched all of this and was like, wow, maybe he'll be able to actually care for a child. Tsunade should hear about this.
He's not able to care.
When Naruto returned with food, he found out that his clone was also asleep. And he rolled his eyes and swapped with his clone. And then smiled as the lolly nuzzled into him. To his surprise, as he patted on the mask, he felt his hand stick to the mask, while a strange fluid flowed from his chest, down his arm, leaked out his hand, and into the mask. The eye holes of the mask flashed pink before the room was engulfed in smoke. And then suddenly, Nell was no longer a lolly, but was instead a MA-18 porn star. And Naruto was like, wow, this escalated quickly. And Nell looks at him and goes, you're Naruto Uzumaki. And she goes, well, there's 2 other hollows around here. And Naruto goes, I have no idea what you're talking about. All I did was I found you falling from the sky. And so Nell's now sad. And Naruto decides to take his turn being Canadian and starts telling her that he's sorry, regardless of the fact that he has no idea what he's being sorry about. And so they're hugging. And they're hugging, and they're learning each other's names. That's an info dump. If you're a spirit, how come everyone else was able to see you? Well, you see, the Science Hollow turned me into a human because somehow reasons and stuff or something. I'm lost, Naruto admitted. Nell replied with a smile. To keep it simple, I have a body now. Because reasons. Important reasons, I'm sure, but reasons nonetheless. Oh, that's easier to understand, Naruto said, punching his fist into his palm. Nell smiled. It looks like I'm on limited time before I revert back to my younger state. I'm still too unstable. I can sense a great deal of compassion from you, Naruto Uzumaki. Please take care of my younger self and keep on healing my mask. You have Ryatsu, which is spirit energy. You must learn how to call upon it and fix me. I hope I can talk to you again soon, Nell. I like your company too, Naruto. And then Nell found herself very impressed with Naruto. He had a heart, and that was a driving force in life. And then her eye holes flashed once more before she turned into a lolly again. And that's the end of the chapter. I think we're going to call it early because there's really nothing going on. Everyone's probably out visiting their parents.
I hate it every second.
We covered multiple stories today. Actually, a fair number of them, and they were all trash.
Are we supposed to go back to a story?
I would probably save that for next week after the holidays are over. Yeah. Doing anything of importance on holiday weeks is just usually a bad plan. Because, people are traveling, and they don't have time for this, and countless other excuses. Personally, I think Twitch is just censoring us, but I couldn't fathom why.
I mean, our viewers are normally bigger than this. We at least get like 11, 12 people, so. Who knows? Nobody knows.
Anyway, we will see you all next time, which is going to be Friday. Be there. Tell your friends to be there. Make sure they'll be there. Don't tell your family what you're doing. You don't want them to think less of you already. But of course, there is always more, and it always gets worse.